Chair, I have read the consolidated verified answer and at Cautelam with caution. And certainly I would express my disappointment with the legal team of the Vice President, who has 16 lawyers who have signed this particular answer. In an answer, the grounds which were averted to in the third complaint, 6 grounds, should have been answered one by one because there is a finding by the committee of sufficiency in substance of the 6, although I would like to state that of the 6, I find that those with substance sufficiency is the first and the fourth ground. The other 4 are not. But however, since the committee voted for the entire third complaint to be sufficient in substance, it behooves upon the lawyers. I have been, I was a practicing lawyer before, and quite some time, and I have met many of the lawyers of the Vice President. They're very good. However, in this case, there is no answer to the 6 grounds of the third complaint, and also no direct answer to the 5 grounds. There were 8 grounds in the fourth complaint, but the 6 to 8 complaints were found by the committee to just be corroborative to the first to the 5th grounds. In the fourth complaint, I find that the first 2 has sufficiency in substance, the 3 do not. But I, therefore, am surprised that in this particular case, there is no discussion per ground, and therefore would not give us the real answer of the respondent to the 6 and 5 grounds. 6 in the third complaint, 5 in the fourth complaint. However, Mr. Chair, reading this, there is indeed, I'm only interested in the answer on the 125 million confidential funds in 2022 of the Vice President. And there is an answer. This is paragraph 24. This is page 5 of the answer, consolidated answer. For this 125 confidential funds, the only answer of the Vice President is that in its deliberations of the Saballa and Cabrera complaints, this committee disregarded the petition for review in Sara Z. Duterte versus Nilda B. Plaras, docketed as COA CP number 2024-0194, before the Commission on Audit, COA, Commission proper, notwithstanding that the subject of that appeal is the notice of disallowance involving the same confidential funds that constitute the principal basis of the accusations therein. Significantly, the matter remains pending and unresolved, and any ruling of the COA would, in any event, remain subject to final judicial review of the Supreme Court. A bare answer to definite allegations, ultimate facts in the third complaint and the fourth complaint. So, but this also would, at the same time, provide the committee the obligation to hear the case, to hear the COA on precisely, because I have heard the Vice President say that Merry Crispiatos will be explained. The 11 days will be explained of the 125 million. But unfortunately, it's not here. But I would say that there is an answer, but precisely it does not have the facts that would constitute the real answer, so a hearing would be required on this particular matter. There is therefore sufficiency of ground for the ground of the 125 million confidential fund. Next, the next one where there are just 2 grounds that I'm saying there is sufficiency and substance. The next one is the threat against the President, the First Lady, the Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, by the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. The only answer here is on page 9, paragraph 53. This is the only thing that would answer those ultimate facts stated in both the third complaint and the fourth complaint. And may I read, therefore, the answer of the respondent to this threat. It says here, the impeachment complaints likewise brazenly accuse the Vice President of entering into a supposed contract to kill. Yet, they fail to present any shred of proof that any such contract ever existed. Instead, complainants rely on exaggerated conclusions dressed up as fact. With very short answer, Madam Chair, this therefore requires, to me, a hearing on this particular issue, which is ground number 4 in the third complaint and ground number 2 in the fourth complaint. So as far as these two, Madam Chair, I find there is sufficient grounds to continue with the hearing of this case. And since the others were not also, Madam Chair, the others were not clearly answered to, ground by ground, then the decision of the committee stands that there is sufficiency in substance in all the 6 grounds under the complaint, the third complaint, and the 5 grounds under the fourth complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.